not ready to go yet, okay? I'm not ready. You gotta wait. I got shit to do. I'm in the middle of something. All right? Just hold on.
Watch your mouth or don't come in here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, people, come on, we're adults here. You know what? What is the point?
Yeah, we're adults here. I got a fucking Burger King fucking thing on my head. We're all fucking adults here, guys. People in my chat, 2 words. What are they? 2 words. Let me see the chat flood. Let me see the chat flood. 2 words. Okay. Next caller. Please. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, which translate in American to dick and balls.
I got flip-flops. These are my flip-flops. Yeah, I really like my flip-flops because I can put them on. Because look, watch me put them on. I can put them on all by myself. Watch me put them on. Look, are you watching? Look, these are my flip-flops.
Thanksgiving Day. I remember it clearly. It was Thanksgiving Day. I was inserting myself in somebody else's fucking business as a cash grab, and you know.
This channel is harsh reality.
Karen Yak se jodió la sucia vida. Amen.
This is Jonathan Lee Riches. I have cheeseburgers. I'm gonna put cheese on them. I'm gonna make sure that I have my hamburgers because I'm a big boy now and I can make the hamburgers. My mom lets me use the stove now.
And I'm just like, wow, I like receipts, and they brought receipts. Like they had evidence to back up everything they said. And I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be another side to this, right? Like, this can't. No, this is too fantastic.
Yeah, because you're not going to just jump to the conclusion that there's a conspiracy amongst cops to cover up a murder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, cops and just like soccer moms and shit. Like, that's what made it even crazier. Like,
yeah, get it, Betty. Yeah,
did you have a close relationship with your mom?
Get it, Betty.
Oh, of course, I still do.
Yeah.
My older sister was kind of sad. She was more of the prissy girl that like going
that is
and
the best shit fucking
shopping
ever.
for the dresses with mommy. I was the tomboy that liked playing with the people.
Shout out to Cherry for just being just easily the most faithful and loyal supporter that I've ever had, man. That someone could have that tenacity with loyalty. And I'm really blessed to have someone like Cherry be part of this channel and in my life. So it means a lot. And yes, I named him after Mr. T and Rocky. Say, woman. Say, woman. Say, woman. Said your old man ain't got no heart. Why don't you come down to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man. Oh my God, I'm so in love with this little dude. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I love you guys very, 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 very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends. Oh, say bye. Say bye. Oh, I love you too. Give me a kiss. Oh, I love you. Bye, guys. Woo! Good afternoon, people. Oh my goodness. It's great to see you guys again for the second time today. Thank you guys, those of you who were here earlier today and or this morning. When I was when I attempted to review the hearing, the Sarah Boone hearing. But the Sarah Boone hearing, I guess, due to the weather, I mean, there's basically a hurricane running through Florida right now. So I guess it was postponed and it didn't happen, or it happened after I went to sleep. I don't know. Because I got really sick. I drank for the first time since I went to Boston. I didn't even drink in Boston. On the way back from Boston, I drank. And then I hadn't drank at all since then. And Jesus, man, it's like the older I get, it's just my body telling me, dude, those days I think are over for you, Bo. Like, you can't be doing this shit anymore. And like yeah, and we went over the last hearing that Sarah Boone had, and I had not reviewed it yet. And listening to her literally made me sick, literally put me over the edge. Like I wasn't feeling great. And then I felt awesome because like I ate a gummy. It was really strong. It was like a 20 milligram one. And I felt great throughout the live stream. And then by the time we got to her, I was covered in sweat. Like I was sitting here sweating so bad. And Cherry was still on the phone. And unfortunately, fortunately for you guys, you didn't hear what Cherry overheard, because as soon as I ended the live stream, I went right over to the John and just and released all of my guts. Just all of it. It was so bad. It was so bad. And then I watched a little TV and then I went to sleep. But yeah, Cherry was still on the phone when that happened. I ended the live and I ran over to it was done. I was done. But I feel a little better now. Sorry if I'm not so animated, but I feel a little better now. And of course, you know, we have this update in the Karen Reed saga. And the Karen Reed's defense have filed a third motion to dismiss. I've never seen this before. I don't understand what it's going to take here. Like, first of all, I don't understand what kind of case the prosecution thinks they're going to bring to the table a second time around. They did their best, and it was nothing. It was nothing. Just a big waste of time and money. Oh my God. Yeah, it was just a big waste of time and money. Sorry, every time I sip, like it feels like my insides are just totally just raw. So bad. And just from drinking wine. I drank wine last night, for fuck's sake. You know, I used to drink a lot of wine. Now I can't do it. Can't do it. No, it wasn't Boone's Farm apple. No. No, it was cheap wine though. But I love my cheap wine. It's like the Kroger version of Walmart's Oak Leaf. Instead, Kroger calls it Bay Bridge, but it's no different than any of the other wine. Everybody who I've ever talked to that knows their shit about wine, they're like, this stuff is just as good. Like I remember I used to drink this stuff in Atlanta all the time. and I'd go into Kroger after my shift was over, late at night, and I'd pick that up, and then there would be there was this dude in line behind me one night, and he was buying like a few bottles of Bay Bridge, and he was like, and we kind of just gave each other the look, like, yep, and like, dude, and then he speaks, and he says, yeah, he's like, I'm the GM of a really high-end restaurant in Buckhead, and he's like, this stuff, like, it's so funny, people buy and they pay, like, some of the wines we serve, like, there's like $200 a glass, like, the funny thing is this stuff is just as good. It's the same shit. And my former boss, his wife, works in wine, and she's a high-end wine distributor, and she's like, yeah, it's all bullshit. It's all the same shit. None of this is any more special than the other, really. It's all bullshit. So yeah, like, just remember that, when you see somebody being all fucking bougie with their wine, and smelling it, sticking their nose in there, it's just all for fucking show. It's all bullshit. So but yeah, man, it was so fun. It's so funny because I think about it, and I bought 2 bottles, and I was like, is that going to be enough? Should I buy a 3rd bottle? And it was like, you haven't drank in a while, so the 2 should be enough. And sure enough, yeah, it was more than enough. So anyway, well, I mean, Cherry's not even 30, dude. You know what I mean? Like, she can drink, First of all, Cherry is Irish and British. She's a Mick and a Limey, okay? It's embedded in her DNA to drink whiskey like it's nothing. I guarantee you that Cherry can drink any man or woman in this chat under the table. Guaranteed. She's not human. I mean, she is. She's just Irish, but yeah, she could drink any one of you people under the table. I can guarantee it. So let me go ahead and pull up this motion here. Cherry sent it to me in pieces here, so I can't stand when I just have screenshots. This drives me crazy. And it's not Cherry's fault. I'm just bitching because I'm in a mood to bitch. All right. So all right. So right here it says supplemental affidavit of David R. Yannetti in support of defendant's motion to dismiss. It says here, I am an attorney licensed in Massachusetts since December 20th, 1989. Sorry, I'm going to have to mute sometimes here. Okay. Since December 20th, 1989, my main office address, blah, 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 blah. On July 31st, 2024, I received an unsolicited phone call from someone who informed me that he or she was a juror at the trial of this matter. The caller informed me of his or her full name, which confirmed for me that he or she was juror B. Information about whom I had included in my previous affidavit filed in support of this motion. Now, this is very interesting, folks, because what we're talking about here is juror B, not someone who was an intermediary who had contacted on behalf of juror B previously. That's not what this is. This is Juror B on July 31st reaching out to Karen Reed's defense team directly, going, yeah, that shit's legit. I'm telling you, we voted unanimously on counts 1 and 2, and only on the lesser of the manslaughter charges where we split. So this is very interesting here. I might as well just keep this because you can't really see it. During my phone conversation with Juror B, he or she confirmed for me that the jury reached a unanimous not guilty verdicts on indictments 1 and 3. He or she told me that the only charge on which the jury was deadlocked was indictment 2. Juror B told me that he or she was familiar with the affidavit and that the affidavit that I previously filed in support of this motion. Juror B confirmed for me that the screenshot of the text message exchange that I referenced in paragraph 4 of that affidavit was accurate. Specifically, Juror B confirmed that he or she had texted it was not guilty on second degree and split half for the second charge. When the judge sent us back with the Hernandez sick thing to look at the other side, it turned into a bully match. What? I thought the prosecution didn't prove their case. No one thought she hit him on purpose or even thought she hit him on purpose. They gave us free counseling forms when we left, Juror B clarified. What? Okay. However, that he or she meant to write, no one thought she hit him on purpose or even knew that she had hit him. Juror B believes that okay, so they did correct. Because I'm always stuck on that. That statement, because they repeat themselves. It's very redundant. So the correction here is what they meant to write was no one thought she hit him on purpose or even thought that she had hit him. So there it's clarified right there. Not only did they not think that she hit him on purpose, they didn't even think. So the crash daddies, as people like to call them, the ARCA experts, they were effective. According to this affidavit, according to Juror B, this is basically confirming that the ARCA experts did, in fact, have some impact on the jury's decision here. So the jury is straight up saying here that this juror is straight up saying, well, okay, some of us didn't even think that she hit him at all. So no, you know what I mean? Like this, you cannot throw this woman in prison. This doesn't make sense. This is wild. I'm gonna rant about some stuff after I read this. Juror B believes that every member of the jury, if asked, will confirm that the jury reached not guilty verdicts on indictments 1 and 3. Juror B believes that even jurors who are leaning toward a conviction on some part of indictment will confirm that the other 2 indictments were acquittals. He or she believes that the other jurors have been reluctant to come forward because there is so much public and media attention focused on this case. Huh. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me there's more screenshots here, so this is actually the first page. So I'm reading this totally out of order. But it says here the defendant Karen Reed's third supplemental memorandum in support of her motion to dismiss. Now comes the defendant Karen Reed by and through undersigned counsel and hereby respectfully submits this third supplemental memorandum in support of her motion to dismiss filed July 8th, 2024. as reflected in the attached supplemental affidavit of David R. Yannetti. Deliberating juror in this case, juror B, placed an unsolicited phone call to attorney Yannetti, confirming that the prior affidavit of David R. Yannetti accurately quoted his or her text messages, saying it was not guilty on second degree. No one thought she hit him on purpose or even thought she hit him on purpose. Supplemental affidavit David R. Yannetti, juror B, clarified that he or she meant to write, no one thought she hit him on purpose or even thought that she hit him, meaning at all. Juror B further confirmed that the jury reached unanimous not guilty verdicts on indictments 1 and 3. And she believes that every member of the jury, if asked, will confirm that the jury reached not guilty verdicts on indictments 1 and 3. Based on the attached affidavit and all of the reasons set forth in this opening motion, first and second supplemental memorandum in reply, the defense respectfully renews its... Hold on a second here. I mean, respectfully renews... Hold on, sorry. Its contention to the jury... or its contention that the jury acquitted Miss Reed on counts 1 and 3, or alternatively, there was no manifest necessity for a mistrial as to those counts. And therefore, the double jeopardy protections of the federal and state constitutions require that those counts not be retried, excuse me. If the court for any reason would not credit the affidavit of counsel in this same manner as the court would credit identical affidavits from the juror in question, or an affidavit that the juror has reviewed counsel's affidavits and confirms the accuracy of the representations attributed to them, then the defense respectfully requests permission to initiate contact with jurors A, B, D, and E for the sole purpose of asking them to affirm the accuracy of the 3 affidavits of Alan Jackson and the supplemental affidavit of David R. Yannetti. And here this is stamped with Martin Weinberg, David Yannetti, and Alan Jackson. So, yeah, this is absolutely insane. I don't see how they plan on trying this case again. This makes no sense. Maniacal Miss, thank you so much. Even if they manage to get rid of charges 1 and 3, isn't the second charge still a quite lengthy sentence? I mean, she's not going to be found guilty on that, though. You have to understand, they were split on that. Thank you so much, Maniacal Miss, because that is a great question. You're saying, isn't the second charge still quite a lengthy sentence? It would be if she's found guilty of it. But the problem is these people are deadlocked, especially, I mean, if there'll be a new jury, but they're not going to, there's no way that they're going to get 12 people to unanimously agree that Karen Reed hit John O'Keefe with her vehicle. I mean, you're just not going to do it. Not with those ARCA experts testifying. There's just no way. That creates doubt. The fact that they were subpoenaed, they were not hired by the defense, but they were subpoenaed to testify as to their findings in their own independent investigation. Now, the jury did not get to hear that they were hired by the feds because Michael Morrissey's Norfolk County DA's office is under federal investigation, and the investigation into John O'Keefe's death is under investigation itself. So the jury did not know of this. So we're gonna have a series of motions being filed. I guarantee you, if there's gonna be a new trial. And hopefully the fact that this Norfolk County DA's office is under investigation, hopefully this will be allowed to be heard by the jury in this second trial if the second trial moves forward. Now, I don't see how Judge Beverly Cannoni can not dismiss this case at this point, and not be considered somehow dirty, opportunistic. Now, I mean, corruption, like in the sense of like, is she being paid, or is she being blackmailed, or is she being intimidated? No, I'm not talking about some shit you'd read in a fucking John Grisham novel. I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about just the fact that it's a high profile case, just the fact that she seems to have been hell bent on this going to trial in the first place, even though they filed motions to dismiss. Again, this is the third time that they've tried to that they filed a motion to dismiss this case. Beck, thank you so much. Will, that stupid super chat song of yours lives rent free in my head, drives me nuts. Also, morning from I don't know where that is. Love your unapologetically you. Is that Australia? It's too small. I can't really see, but I see a whiff of Union Jack in that flag. So it looks like Australia. Okay, thank you. That's what I thought it was. So I mean, yeah, that's amazing that you guys are watching from Australia. That's amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. And honestly, I'm not personally in the mood for the super chat song right now. That's why I'm not playing it. So, oh yeah, I was supposed to slurp really obnoxiously because of Turtle Voice chat. Yeah. People were complaining. People sent Turtle Boy like a thing saying your slurping is too loud. So I was like, you know what I'm gonna do just to be a dick. Next time I'm live, I'm totally gonna slurp into the mic. Anyway. So yeah, I mean, the fact, okay, let's run down the list. First of all, we find out that Judge Beverly Cannoni's brother represented Chris Albert, who is the brother of the homeowner of 34 Fairview Road, where John O'Keefe's body was found. Okay, he also sits on the Canton Select Board of that town, so he's a powerful man. And back in the, I don't know, early 2000s or the 90s, I don't even remember when it was, he killed a man with his car. Judge Beverly Cannoni's brother represented him in that case. This, you would think, would be a conflict of interest. So there was a motion filed to get her to recuse herself from this. She refused. She didn't recuse herself. Then they file a motion to dismiss, considering the fact that, I mean, it's just their job as defense attorneys. It's their job. So okay, sorry about that. So they're going to file this motion to dismiss. And of course, Beverly Cannoni's going to deny it. But the thing is they're saying they don't have a case. Their their original motion to dismiss, they went on to say, and not only to dismiss the case, but to disqualify Michael Morrissey's office from trying this case, because Michael Morrissey is currently under federal investigation. And you know that it has to do with something very shady involving the death of John O'Keefe's, the investigation into the death of John O'Keefe, Officer John O'Keefe, excuse me. So I'm finding it very, very interesting that she didn't dismiss the case, A, because the prosecution had no case. B, they're like, this whole case is doubt. The whole purpose, the backbone of the justice system is innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. But this case is nothing but doubt. So before this trial even started, most of us were sitting here going, why is this even going to trial? This makes no sense. So sure enough, this does go to trial, and we're waiting for Adam Lally, the assistant district attorney, the prosecutor in this case, to pull a rabbit out of a hat at some point, which he never does. Which he never, ever does. Like this rabbit.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad. I think we got a super dad.
There you go, Derek. Derek requested it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. It makes no sense that this even went to trial. But sure enough, when it goes to trial, there was just weeks and weeks and weeks of fucking nothing. The defense or the prosecution's witnesses turned out to be the prosecution's witnesses ended up being witnesses for the defense. They were basically there just for the defense to be able to point out the doubt. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Little Irish Girl. Anti-Bev Streisand effect. Google it. Agreed. Yeah, agreed. I don't know what, because I don't see how Judge Beverly Cannoni can come out of this and look good. It makes no sense to me that this is even going as far as it is. Yeah, so I don't. You've got all of these jurors that are you've got these jurors who the defense is saying, and not only did this third motion to dismiss doesn't even mention the fact that the prosecution, Adam Lally, admits that the jurors tried to reach out to him too, tried to reach out to the Norfolk County DA's office. They admit to it. He admitted to it. He knows that they tried to reach out. He just didn't return the call. And he tries to justify it by saying, oh, well, we can't discuss what went on in the deliberation room and blah, blah, blah. No, I'm sorry. But if there's a chance that you are going to put a woman through an unnecessary trial to get her convicted for a crime that you can't prove she did, then this is just mind-blowing to me. This is just fucking mind-blowing to me. The fact that he's even going to move forward with this, he knows. Like, he's trying to say, oh, well, we can't talk about what happened behind the scenes in the jury deliberation room. Nobody's asking for that other than, okay, wait, there are 3 separate charges. Why weren't the 3 separate charges addressed before Judge Beverly Cannoni declared a mistrial? If there are 3 charges, how could she just generally just be like, nope, you know what? I'm not going to do that to you folks. I'm going to go ahead and send you home. No, dude. Like, it is her duty. It is her responsibility, but it is her duty as a court officer, as a judge, to go, hey, wait a second. There were 3 charges. Which charges specifically were you deadlocked on? Was it all of them, one of them, or 2 of them? And if there was, which, if any, were you deadlocked on. That was her responsibility to do that, and she failed to do that. And this is why I believe that this is still going to go to trial. I believe we're going to see this motion. This motion hearing is going to take place on Friday, and it is going to be so that, and we're going to see this this Martin Weinberg, the new member of the team. We're going to see him in action because he's going to be the one arguing, I think, if not David Yannetti, arguing this motion to dismiss. So, I mean, we're just going to have to see. But I don't think that she's going to. I don't think that she's going to dismiss these charges. I really don't think so. I don't believe that's going to happen. Because she would have to admit to wrongdoing, and I don't think that Judge Beverly Cannoni is capable. I don't think that her ego allows her to admit any wrongdoing. The fact that this mistrial happened, that was her calling it, and that mistrial, her not making it a very specific point to go over each charge with the foreman of the jury, that's her fail. Yeah, I know. Same here, Scott McGinnis. I always think of that too because I've seen that movie so many times. Jen Del Rio gifted a membership, right on, and congrats to Patty Minko. Fantastic. Yeah, I've got some stuff in the works. Of course, Friday we're going to go over that motions hearing. I don't expect great news to come of that. I'm hoping so, but I don't expect that to happen. But yeah, I seriously don't think that that's actually happening right now. Oh, wait. No, that's a premiere. Yeah, there's a Sarah Boone thing going on right now on Court TV. Sorry, I'm just looking to see if this is worth streaming right now. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to stream that right now. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up, guys. We've got there's the Falwell thing in regards to the Sarah Birchmore case. There's a hearing for that tomorrow. So I will be streaming that. I believe that's in the morning. I don't have an exact time on that yet. But I'm going to stream that tomorrow. I'm also going to yeah, Scott, I'm with you on that too. I'm also going to obviously we're going to go over the Karen Reed hearing on Friday. And whatever happens with Sarah Boone, we're definitely going to go over that. And I will make sure not to drink the night before. I don't know what I'm going to do, man, because I got a trip coming up in September. And I plan on doing some heavy drinking on that trip. like what I already paid for, and what I like there's drinks included in this. Like it's just there's no, you know what I mean? So oh gosh, it's gonna be rough. I've never not looked forward to like heavy drinking. I've never looked at heavy drinking and going, oh, do I really want to do that? That's never fucking happened. It's so bizarre. Chloe Albert's Revenge, thank you so much. Those McAlberts are awful. Turtle Boy goes near their greasy spoon to give them free advertising, and they assault him and take his phone. He throws them a parade of goodwill, and they cry and call it a rolling rally. Yeah, that's funny. I mean, the shit's all on video. Like, stop it. Like you don't have any video of Turtle Boy assaulting people, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, the worst thing that I've ever seen Turtle Boy do is call somebody a loser over and over again as he's filming it. You're a loser, just his phone in their face. Loser, you're a fucking loser. That's the worst I've seen him do. I haven't seen him threaten anybody. Like I just don't I don't see, and that shit's not even illegal. It's funny, but it's not illegal. Man, and I would totally like take calls right now, but I'm just not feeling up to it. Kathy Wright, thank you so much. Sarah Boone's case is going to be crazy. Is it going to be another Daryl Brooks trial? Watching from New Zealand. Yeah, that's why I'm covering it. I mean, here's my take on Sarah Boone. And thank you so much. That's amazing that you're watching from New Zealand. Here's my take on Sarah Boone. Okay, on this trial is going to be the kind of trial that you don't want to you don't want to not watch. And the irony about it is she wants all the publicity. She loves the publicity. She loves that she thinks that she's going to have this platform where she's going to be speaking for victims of domestic violence and domestic abuse, and that's just not the case. We watched this woman sit there. I mean, we watched video footage of this woman sit there and as her boyfriend was like dying in the suitcase, saying that he can't fucking breathe. You know what I mean? Like he couldn't breathe. He's saying, "Let me out of here," and she's straight up telling him, "This is for all the times that you hit me, blah, 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 blah." And she was laughing at him. Yeah, exactly, Sherry D. She was laughing at him, dude. It's horrible. But yeah, she's only representing, this is the thing, is she tried to troll the justice system. I was fascinated with this because I knew it was going to get to a point to where she was going to have to represent herself. I mean, after the fifth lawyer, I was like, this is, I mean, how long is this going to go on? Turns out that after 8 lawyers, after 8 public defenders were assigned to her, after the eighth one was like, dude, I can't even fucking do this. The judge is like, all right, well, you're on your own now. You know, we're not going to delay this trial anymore. So if you can't work with the lawyers that you're given, then you're going to have to represent yourself. Period. That's it. You're done. But she's like, dude, Anthony P., I'm trying to tell you, man, she has stalled the justice system by just making it impossible to work for her court-appointed attorneys to work with her, which is fascinating. I've never seen that done before. I've never seen that shit done before. But now, the judge is like, no, like if you can't work with your attorneys, then you'll have to be your own attorney. It's just how it is. I'm done with you. I'm done playing games with you. We're done putting off this trial. Little Irish girl, thank you so much. That's not how you play hide and seek. It's definitely not how you play hide and seek. No. Like, we were playing hide and seek. What game of hide and seek makes the person who's it hide the person who's hiding? You're it. Okay. Hey, get into the suitcase so that I can find you in this game of hide and go seek. What? Right. I mean, the fact that the dude, I mean, listen, and here's a little, disclaimer here. Some might are going to be like, you're being disrespectful to the victim. I might come off as disrespectful to this victim. I might, because as I understand it, A, he was no angel, and B, the dude was dumb enough to get into a fucking suitcase. He lives with this woman. You're going to tell me he doesn't know how crazy she is? Fuck out of my face. He knows how crazy she is. I'm not getting in a fucking suitcase, much less under her direction. There's no way. Oh, you're a victim blamer. You're a victim blamer. Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes the victim holds some blame. It does happen. It's rare, but it does happen. Sorry, not sorry. Dude fucking got into a suitcase willingly, got too drunk, got into a suitcase willingly under the direction of one of the craziest women that I've ever seen in my life. So crazy, so toxic that I could sense her toxicity when I was reviewing her today, and it made me throw up. Like, I literally had to throw up. I literally had to end my live and go throw up. It was insane. So all right, I'll retitle this later, because I mean, I could sit here and talk about Karen Reed over and over and over again. We already know what's going to happen, and we already know the reasons why this case should absolutely be dismissed. Mark Betterow has gone over it a million times. So it's just, you know what I mean? I could do the same thing. That's fine. But I think we're all in agreement here that I don't think that we expect any miracles, which it shouldn't be a miracle. It shouldn't be a miracle that these charges are dismissed. It shouldn't be a miracle. It should be a no-brainer. But the fact that we're thinking of it being a miracle taking place, just should tell you that we don't even expect the right thing to happen in this case. Everything is insane. Everything. This is the most Twilight Zone-y shit. Speaking of which, I have to reach out to her. I have to reread the email that I received about that, but I should be soon having attorney Melanie Little up here as a guest. I just have to touch base with her and schedule it. But we have that in its conceptual phases right now. All right, let me see how long. Let's go over Law and Crime's video on this. I know they just did one. I prefer not to stream Law and Crime, but whatever. I'm already like kind of over that. I'm really in a I can do whatever the fuck I want. If you don't like it, fuck off mood right now. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, let's catch up a little on Sarah Boone. Why not? Let's catch up a little on Sarah Boone.
A woman who will soon be heading to trial for murder continues to cause a stir even from behind bars in jail. Sarah Boone is no stranger to courtroom antics. She cycled through a number of attorneys, 8 to be exact. And the judge overseeing her case seemingly is fed up with her antics. After granting a motion to withdraw from her last attorney, is now leaving Boone scrambling to find someone to represent her before she has to represent herself. But now she's taking matters into her own hands by crafting essentially a help wanted ad that she hopes will generate the attention to any attorney looking to represent her in her upcoming trial. The handwritten ad was included in a 6-page letter to Judge Michael Kranick dated on July 8th. In the letter, like many others written before it, Boone writes to the judge asking for what she believes she'll need for her trial. On the first page of the letter, Boone writes in part, "Where's my discovery? I'm still waiting for you to provide me with the contents of what former attorney Cashman supplied to you in the court at the surprise status hearing held in secret on June 28th. Your designated clock of unfair judgment ticks empty and incessantly while waiting for you to deliver. As usual, it's in your favor."
You see what I mean, dude? Like, I don't feel bad for this lady at all, dude. This lady is the anti-Karen Reed. She's like the opposite. You know what I mean? This lady is an asshole, dude. Like, clearly. I hope that the worst things in life happen to her and nobody else but her. I can't stand this fucking woman, dude.
And your nonchalant, relaxed, unconcerned attitude of me to receive, you are robbing me of precious, life-saving time to fully and properly defend myself. Cashman, who Boone refers to in her letter, is Patricia Cashman, Boone's 8th court-appointed attorney, who in June requested to be removed from Boone's case, citing irreconcilable differences. In the judge's response to Cashman's motion, Judge Kranick wrote, "As of June 26, 2024, this case has been pending 4 years, 3 months, 5 days from the date of the filing of the information on March 23rd of 2020. Actions speak louder than words. Although defendant's words see me while waiting for you to deliver. As usual, it's in you bringing everything I've been asking for since day one and action on March 23rd of 2020. Actions speak louder than words. Although defendant's words seemingly reveal a desire to go to trial, however, as set forth herein, her actions and inability to work with court-appointed counsel are repeated over and over. Boone continues her most recent letter by continuing to beg for the discovery in her case. But she also notes, I do not have access to a computer to view these materials. I'm doing my very best to figure this and everything else out as I go in my newly unwanted forced position of pro se. Please do not penalize me even greater than being already. I'm trying. Then Boone takes a dig at her former attorney as she writes, Cashman, I'm glad I
See, nobody who's worth a shit. This is just a personal observation I've made about life, bro. Like, nobody who's worth a shit cares about you playing victim. You know, like, some might just because it's, they think it's the right thing to do, they'll entertain it to some degree. But 9 out of 10 times, anybody who's worth a shit smells that person playing victim and sees that this is a pattern of behavior coming from people who just simply are not victims. They're just shitty people. So the judge already sees this. The judge is like, this lady fucking sucks. She's writing this letter and she's basically like ranting about how unfair the judge is, and while hoping that the judge feels sorry for her. I'm trying. I'm doing my best here. No, you're not. You're doing your best to stall. That's all Sarah Boone is doing, is trying to stall.
Glad I could help you shine in the courtroom in front of the judge by you professionally and finally bringing everything I've been asking for since day one, and after I included you on my letter to the judge ensuring return, unlike you who did not include me on your motion to withdraw, surprise, and I had to find out from someone else, an officer, 3 days before the surprise status hearing, so you would even know what to bring. Then Boone's seeming frustration goes towards the judge as she writes, how much real time will I have to prepare and properly, especially the fact that you have me doing everything while incarcerated? What happens when more time must be utilized to discover where my lost discovery is? I've been asking for repeatedly. She goes on to write, your time constraints are extreme and unreasonable. Your decision you claim to have considered from your order is illogical and unfair, specifically that it has been malformed by your ignorance and experience of my case, misinterpretation, straight lies from the attorneys appointed. They are brazen to stand at your pulpit in your courtroom and commit perjury to your face in the world.
Wow.
But yet, it's me. By page 4, Boone rants about how she believes the court is sabotaging her
This
and
lady
setting her up for
sucks,
failure.
dude.
As she claims the judge's order removing her 8th court-appointed attorney was unfair, and as a part of the reason she's writing another letter. Toward the tail end of the letter, Boone mentions it might not be the last letter we see from her. She writes, oh wait, my posting, everything supposedly is public record. And there is no notice at all. Another it's in your favor moment. It's a group effort, saboteurs. Surprise, I shall return. Nothing is impossible. Believe, hopeful, grateful, waiting. Thank you for posting, Sarah Boone. But Boone had one final dig for Judge Cranick, writing, remember, please, Judge Cranick, fair, neutral, impartial, you must be always. The final page of the letter includes her very interesting wanted ad, as she seemingly hopes it'll grab the eyes of an attorney that will defend her in her upcoming trial. The ad reads, inmate seeking attorney, looking for a prosperous challenge, ready for your close-up on national.
Dude, that looks like a flyer for a grunge show in the 90s, dude. Like, what is she doing, dude? Epic opportunity awaits. Looking this is fucking great. Hold on, let me read this sucker. Inmate seeks attorney, looking for a prosperous challenge, ready for your close-up on national television. What? Dude. What in the fuck, dude? Hold on. This requires. Inmate seeks attorney. Looking for a prosperous challenge? Ready for your close-up on national television? Are you zealous with a side of keen? Show the world who you are with your original creativity, extraordinary expertise, confident ingenuity. Qualifications must include being trustworthy, honest, passion-driven, open-minded, exceptional problem-solving skills, client inclusion at all times, team orientation, collaboration, extreme efficiency in listening, communicating, understanding, dedication to success, possessing a winning mindset, capability of excellence in representation, committed, maintaining faith in the client. Now, faith is in bold, and care with the ability to think differently, think differently, overcome all circumstances. Epic opportunity awaits. And then she's got her inmate number. Invest in the oppressed. Believe. Oh my God. This lady's out of her fucking mind, dude. This is the craziest shit I have ever seen, bro. Oh my God. This is fantastic.
Television? Are you zealous with the side of keen? Show the world who you are with your original creativity, extraordinary expert qualities. Over previous judges, case has been pushed back various times, in part due to the constant rotation of attorneys, as all have withdrawn from her case. One of her previous attorneys even told the previous judge overseeing her case he couldn't represent her because of the comments she made to him.
Judge, the letters that have been coming to your honor, the derogatory berating of my services in this case, I can't effectively represent her. She doesn't trust me. She calls me a dud, I think, a buffoon, on and on and on and on. And no one should have to endure that type of derogatory comments and expect to effectively represent someone.
Of course.
Especially in a murder case.
And the previous judge who oversaw her case had some harsh yet poignant words toward Boone that the attorneys might not be the problem.
But one thing I want to caution you about, if this becomes a problem on another court-appointed attorney, I'm going to look more closely at what the alleged disputes are. You have a right to a court-appointed lawyer. There are certain decisions a defendant gets to make in the defense of their case that are absolutely theirs, such as whether they go to trial or not, such as whether they testify or not. But there are many decisions in a case that a lawyer gets to make. And while you certainly have a right to consult with your lawyer and discuss with your lawyer, they don't automatically just do whatever you say. They use their professional judgment and experience and look at the evidence, look at the law, and do the best they can.
Boone has been behind bars since February of 2020 in connection to the death of her boyfriend, Jorge Torres. Torres was found dead inside a suitcase at the couple's apartment. His final moments were even captured on a video taken by Boone herself, as Torres can be heard asking to be freed from the suitcase while Boone can be heard laughing.
For everything you've done to me. Sarah. For everything you've done to me. Sarah. Fuck you.
I mean,
Sarah. Fuck you. Sarah. Stupid. Sarah.
Wow. Okay. See, this is what, folks, this is what you call literally open and shut. Pardon the pun, but this case is an open and shut case. Like, she's on camera. She filmed herself while this guy died. She filmed this herself. The guy dying in this suitcase. This is insane. And listen to how sloppy drunk she is, too.
That's my name. Don't wear it up.
Wow. I just, just for her lack of creative humor, I hope she gets the lethal injection, bro. Just for saying that's my name, don't wear it out. Just for like referencing fucking Pee Wee Herman, for fuck's sake.
I can't breathe, babe. Seriously.
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
Sarah.
Then another video shows the suitcase in a different position, which investigators say suggests it has been moved. In this video, Torres can be heard pleading to be let out of the suitcase.
Sarah.
Boone told police she and Torres were drinking wine and playing a game of hide and seek. During the game, she claims they both jokingly thought it would be funny if Torres got in the suitcase.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So I wonder how many out of the 8 attorneys that she went through, how many were like, why don't you just plead insanity? Why don't you just plead insanity? It's not going to be hard to convince a jury that you're fucking nuts. So I think that's the way to go here. If you insist on pleading not guilty to this, you know, the only chance we have is an insanity plea. And I mean, you're not going to get it because you clearly are basically just an asshole. Like what happens when you're insanity, like whatever it is that whatever your crazy is, what if your crazy is getting off on people suffering, just making your environment shit, making your personal environment shit for everyone who enters it? Like, what if that's your crazy? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't, you don't get to plead insanity when you're just an asshole. When your crazy is that you are obsessively an asshole. Right. She's absolutely a sadist, Miss Shorty. And guys, subscribe to Miss Shorty. Miss Shorty has a channel. I caught a live of hers the other day. Miss Shorty has a channel. Make sure to subscribe to her.
In body cam footage, she claims to have went upstairs and passed out in her bed, then woke up hours later and found Torres unresponsive and not breathing, still inside the suitcase.
I fell asleep.
You see this cop right here? Look at this cop.
I fell asleep.
On Torres unresponsive.
This cop is like, Jesus fucking Christ, bro. Like, when I filled out the application to the police academy, I never thought that I would have to deal with some shit like this. Like, I knew I would be dealing with shit that sucks, but I never thought this. Like, look at this cop. He's like, he's exhausted. He's already exhausted. You know what I mean? He's already exhausted.
And not breathing, still inside the suitcase.
I fell asleep.
Okay.
Forgetting that he was in the
you guys
suitcase.
were playing the hide and go
Yes.
seek, and at some point you put him in the suitcase?
No, he got in the suitcase. So he thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to joke with you and I'll zip you up and make him, you know, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. But then I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
Where was the suitcase?
Right where it is.
Right down there?
Yes.
You zipped him in there?
Yes.
Thought it would be funny a little
Jesus.
bit?
It was. We both were laughing about it.
Okay.
And then I fell
I
asleep.
mean,
Where did
aside from the fact that, you know, the guy died, it's kind of funny. The stupidity involved in that is funny. I don't care what you say. And I'm going to say this a lot. I'm going to discuss this a lot. And I'm going to get shit for it. I don't really care. I'm being totally honest with you. Aside from the fact that the man died, of course, that's horrible. Like, the stupidity leading up to it is fucking hilarious. She deserves to be laughed at, and so does the fucking guy for getting in the goddamn suitcase. Who the fuck thinks that's a good idea? That's a grown man, dude. Be a different situation if it was a minor, but that's a grown man who lives with this woman, sticks his dick into this woman, like, willingly. I don't understand that. I mean, this is obviously a man of poor judgment. This man was obviously someone of poor judgment. I don't take pleasure in knowing that this man lost his life in the slightest bit, but the fact that he was stupid enough to get into that fucking suitcase is fucking funny. I don't give a shit what you say. This is ridiculous.
Where did you fall asleep at?
Upstairs.
In your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally forgetting that he was in the suitcase still.
Okay. And then you came back downstairs?
This morning or this afternoon, yes, when I got up.
What time?
12:30-ish. I was awake, but I totally forgot that he was in the suitcase.
But during her police interrogation, Boone denied zipping up the suitcase entirely, while investigators say the evidence says otherwise.
And you also, in the video, you can't see any holes. There's nowhere in that where the zipper separates and you can see a hole. If there's a hole, he's pushing on it, begging you to get out. We should probably see that hole.
He essentially would have been able to get out.
Yeah.
Alcohol. Based off what you're telling us, he should have been able to get out.
Okay.
But the video shows him attempting to get out, begging to get out, and he can't. So that's just what we're trying to figure out. I don't know if maybe you had too much to drink, you zipped it up all the way, and then,
I did not zip it up all the way.
Okay, well.
I mean, that's a
zip it up
goddamn
all the
lie.
way.
We know that's a lie.
This is horrific, okay? Horrific.
It is terrible.
Yeah, so
Horrific. I don't think I'll ever be right because of this. Ever be right.
Right.
I didn't mean to leave him there. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
See how she's making it all about her?
You got up and walked away. How is that not intentionally leaving him there?
Because I'm looking at the hole, knowing that it's there. He'll get out no problem. Because you don't.
And then he doesn't, but you don't go check on him. You
Right.
say you're up for 30 minutes and he doesn't come up. You don't go down and check on him?
Yeah.
I'm in the bed.
You even
Good
move
point.
it. I mean, you admit to moving the suitcase like over. So
You roll it.
you roll it out. Like, it's not like
I didn't want him to be like that. Don't.
you didn't want him to be upside down. How do you even get upside down?
Right. You guys are killing me right now. I promise you, on my son's life,
Oh my God.
it
What
was
an
not
asshole.
intentional. I promise you, on Lucas's life, it was not intentional.
I don't know you. I can't say I know anything about you. I don't know what would be a true statement, what would not. I mean, you're promising on your son's life, that's fine.
See, my issue is, does this woman deserve to be thrown in prison for the rest of her life? Absolutely. Does she deserve the death penalty over it? Probably not, no. And would she kill again? Right? That's the big question. Like, if she gets locked up for the rest of her life, then you're ensuring the fact that she can never do this again. The issue is, does she deserve to be thrown in prison for the rest of her life over this? Is there the fear that she could do this to somebody else? And I see a lot of people in this chat are like, yeah, she fucking would. Of course she'll do this shit to somebody else, especially if she gets away with it. Right? Especially if she gets away with it. Right, exactly. Good point, Cherry. See, Cherry, great minds think alike. She's absolutely right. If she gets away with this, then she'll absolutely, she's got a complex. Everything is her, right? And she honestly thinks that she's above the law right now. So, I wonder, because she's probably a victim of domestic violence to some degree. I mean, the problem with that is we're seeing the type of person that she is. That's the issue. She didn't become this person due to abuse. Okay? At least we don't know that. I don't know what her childhood was like, and I'm not a fucking mental health professional, so I don't fucking know. What I'm saying is we're seeing her personality, and that type of personality doesn't develop from being in one relationship with one man. It doesn't happen. to one abusive man. But, and I agree, Jerry's getting to my point. I believe that this woman is absolutely abusive. The fact that she is abusing, she's using her loopholes here. She's using loopholes to basically manipulate the justice system and victimize everyone else. Everyone else has to waste their time. She's abusive to her own attorneys. She went through 8 of them. And we just heard one of them tell the judge, nobody should have to deal with this kind of abuse. So we get into, I'm not seeing a victim of domestic violence here. I'm seeing someone who probably engaged in a very toxic dynamic between her and her spouse living together. I believe that there was abuse going on from both people. These are both people who, for some reason, didn't have enough sense to be like, you know what, and have enough self-esteem to just be like, you know what, this is bad, and I don't want any of this, man. I gotta go. I gotta get the fuck out of here. The fact that that never happened tells me a lot about them both. So these people are hammered drunk, and she talks him into getting into a suitcase, and then hold on, Chloe Albert Revenge, thank you so much. Backwards, I'd be asking where are her exes? Good point, because I'm sure that at least one of them will testify in her trial. I'm sure of it. So yeah, battered woman syndrome is her defense, but I call bullshit. I call absolute bullshit on that. Total and utter bullshit. I think that this is the type of person, and I don't think that this happens too often, but it does happen. It does happen. I guarantee that it happens. I'm sure that it happens. Where she is abusive in every way short of physical, possibly even physically abusive too, with someone who she is so familiar with, right? But I guarantee you, I'm seeing all the signs of a person who is abusive in every possible way short of physically abusive. Probably justifies her actions by saying, well, I never hit anybody. I would never put my hands on someone. That's too far. That makes them the bad guy. Once they put their hands on someone. Okay. In theory, most of us agree with that. Sure. But the problem is, I wonder if she's the type of person, because actually, I'm just going to say it. I believe that she's the type of person that will do everything that she can to get you to hit her if you're in a relationship with her. And then once that person loses their shit and hits her or gets physical with her, she gets to play victim. And all of a sudden, it vindicates her of all the abusive shit that she did 5 minutes before that. This is the type of vibe I get from her. I absolutely believe 100% that this is the case. So I don't make her out to be an abuse victim at all. Not someone who has she doesn't even have control of it. The uncontrollable instinct to constantly play victim. This is what she does. This is what she's doing right now. She's instinctively, she doesn't care how it looks to other people. She's so full of her own bullshit that she thinks that she's fooling people by playing victim instead of making herself look like an asshole that she is. It's fascinating. That's how full of shit she is. That's how full of herself she is.
Fine. That's how much it means.
Sorry.
That's how much it, look, that's how much it means. Okay. I hope you take that to heart.
Now, 4 years later and 3 months away from
And
her
I
trial.
want to be clear. I'm not excusing if the person she's in a relationship ends up losing their temper and hitting her or getting physical with her. I'm not excusing that behavior in any way, shape, or form. He should have never done it. As a matter of fact, should have had enough fucking self-respect to get up and leave as soon as he saw that she was just being as hurtful as she was, because nobody should be saying those things to a loved one the way that she does. Most likely. Now, we haven't heard it really, but if she's saying these things to her lawyer and calling him a dud or whatever the fuck she called him, I mean, just calling this lawyer names and being verbally abusive to her own attorney, I'm going to say that I think that it's safe to assume that she's abusive to those who she thinks she loves, because those who she loves supposedly are merely, in my opinion, people who think she thinks she has some sort of rights over, control over. She wants people in her life that she can control and manipulate. So, which is ironic because she has all of the signs. If she was a man and acting the way that she is, everyone would be like, that's an abusive piece of shit. I guarantee you that this dude is guilty and an abusive piece of shit. Guaranteed. I mean, I have no doubt in my mind, because she's exhibiting all of the traits that I've heard the true crime community overuse the word, but sometimes is accurate and say that's a narcissistic asshole. But I absolutely believe that she's narcissistic. Now, I'm not a mental health professional, and I that word is so overused in the true crime community. But it is what it is. You know, if you've ever known people, if you know what the symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder are, if you've known those symptoms and she exhibits those symptoms, it's safe to speculate that she might be, is all I'm saying. But I would never be like, she's a narcissist, because I don't fucking know. But she's definitely displaying the symptoms of someone who struggles or suffers from narcissistic personality disorder. I should say people who suffer from narcissistic personality disorder are the people that are around the person who is suffering from narcissistic personality disorder. It affects everyone around them in a very, very negative fashion.
Trial. At this time, it's unclear if Boone will manage to get another attorney to represent her in her trial, because the other alternative, which Boone has made clear she doesn't want, is to represent herself. At this time, the judge hasn't responded to Sarah Boone's letter. According to online records, Boone's trial is slated for October 7th of this year. She's also slated to be in a hearing ahead of her trial, and that hearing is scheduled for September 24th. Reporting for Law and Crime, I'm Elizabeth Milner.
All right. I think I'll be out of town.
What's up, everybody? Happy.
A Florida woman who will
when that hearing happens in September. But I might be in a position to where I could still stream it. Kelly Kell, thank you so much. Why do you think they let her get to 8 attorneys? Because she has the right to court-appointed attorneys. I mean, it's in her Mirandas. When they first arrest you, you have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one will be provided to you. I mean, it just is what it is. And she threw the suitcase down the stairs with him in it. Wow. Yeah, this lady is a terrible, terrible person. Yes, To answer the question that I asked earlier, and then I distracted myself. I think absolutely she would kill again if she thought that she could get away with it. I absolutely believe that. I think that she's a very dangerous person. The kind of tenacity that she's showing by stalling tells a lot about her. I don't know if she first said it was a sex game. All right, let's
Florida judges.
Let's watch this shit. This is Court TV's shit on it. Well, I think they already went over this stuff. Hold on. I don't want to go over the same bullshit twice. Let's see what that hearing was today. It's still going on. Jesus Christ, it's still going on. How much time? Wow. This is an hour. Can I speed this up? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess they couldn't. I guess it was recorded, but it wasn't live. So this is what I was supposed to stream earlier today. So I might as well just fucking do it now. Dude, what? She looks nice today. What are you talking about, dude? Dude, I'm calling the cops. You belong in jail for even saying that. They're coming for you, bro.
FBI, open up!
Dude, this is sped up. Hold on. Let me just.
Can you please state your... Ma'am, good morning. Can you please state your full name and date of birth for the record for me? I do see that we have a representative from JACS that's appearing virtually. Sir, can I get your appearance for the record as well?
Yes, Your Honor. Christian Lake with the Justice Administrative Commission.
Okay, very good. All right, we've got a couple of things that we're going to be addressing this morning. The first is the motions, Ms. Boone, that you had made reference the last time I saw you. The court has reviewed all of those motions. I've reviewed also JACS's reply, specifically their response to the motion seeking due process costs that was filed on July 30, 2024. State, have you had the opportunity to review all of Ms. Boone's motions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Ma'am, I want to go through each one of them and hear from the state, from yourself, and from JACS. We're going to start first with the, y'all can be seated, don't need to stand, thank you. The defendant's temporary motion for reservation of proposed cost to acquire investigator for defendant's defense and trial dated July 18, 2024, received July 29th. That request seeks to reserve any and all costs proposed to be incurred to acquire investigator. The defendant's temporary motion for reservation of proposed costs to acquire all witnesses for defendant's defense and trial dated July 18, 2024, received July 29th, 2024. The request
Totally, Misty. Right.
to be incurred to acquire all witnesses for trial. And then defendant's temporary motion for depositions to be conducted per FRCP Rule 3.220 by defendant under pro se attorney title and position ordered by the judge in court dated July 18, 2024, received July 29, 2024. I have reviewed all of those motions. All three motions reflect to be determined or TBD with regard to the investigator, witnesses, and opponents. The total amounts are to be determined. How to calculate is unknown. As to the depositions, the date are to be determined, and the amount of transcripts are unknown. Mr. Lake, I've reviewed your response. Do you have anything else to add, sir, with regard to those items, investigators, witnesses, or deponents?
Not really, Your Honor. The only thing is if we can provide Ms. Boone a copy of our pro se packet that has information about including model motions. We would have to send her a copy, or send your DA a copy that you could send to give to her. That might help her for purposes of future motions. But as far as these are concerned, I think our response pretty much outlines what our position was each of those requests.
Okay, thank you, sir. If you would be so kind to send that to Ms. Barrios, we will ensure that Ms. Boone gets a copy of it. State, do you have any position with regard to those three motions that the court just identified?
No, Your Honor. Okay. All right, ma'am. So previously, Prison Break Investigations was already appointed to be your investigator. The JAC has no objection to authorizing $5,000 in costs for Prison Break and for $500 for obtaining case-related documents and materials on your behalf. So seeing as there's no objection, even though you were asking for a reservation, I'm going to go ahead
Somebody made Cherry's list. Fantastic.
and permit that cost to be incurred. With regard to the costs for witnesses and the depositions, you are requesting, as I identified earlier, just to reserve those costs. And as I had said earlier, the motions do not identify who the witnesses are or what the deponents are. So I'm going to deny those motions with prejudice, but that means you can refile them and we can readdress them when you file motions in the future addressing any of those items for ensuring witnesses being subpoenaed or appearing for your defense at trial or for any persons that you may seek to depose. Because right now I don't know who it is that you're seeking to depose based on your own motions. Do you understand the court's ruling as to those three motions? And do you have any questions or do you want to add anything?
I would add, please.
Sure.
Of course she's going to add.
With your delegated due date of July 22nd for all of the trial.
Now, before this asshole even gets into whatever bullshit she's going to say, like, I find it really fascinating that she doesn't even have enough decency to stand up. Like, she has no, she's trying to she shows absolute, she's deliberately showing a lack of respect for the court is what she's doing. She's written letters to this judge basically insulting him. And so everyone she comes into contact with, she's abusive towards in some way, shape, or form. And here, she just sits here. Like, even, dude, the worst lawyers I've ever seen, Adam Lally, Ken Mello, they actually have the decency to fucking stand up to address the court. She won't even stand up and show this court any respect at all. This trial is going to be a nightmare for this judge. It's going to be a fucking nightmare because he's going to have to be really patient with her. Like, I mean, the woman who tried the Daryl Brooks trial, she deserves a sainthood for how she handled that. It was insane. I know she's cuffed, but she's not, I don't think she's cuffed to the fucking chair. You know what I mean? I think she could still stand up, even if she has leg irons on. She could stand up.
Motion to be submitted.
I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe she is chained to the chair somehow. But I don't think so. Looks like a regular chair. And her handcuffs are in the front.
So I understand for those. So you're telling me at a later date when I have that information to revise them.
I'm giving you the opportunity to refile. Yes, ma'am. With regard to the defendant's motion for reservation of proposed costs to With regard to defendant's motion for reservation of proposed costs to acquire expert witnesses for defendant's defense and trial dated July 18th, 2024 and received July 29th, 2024. Mr. Lake, anything else to add other than what is identified in your response?
No, Your Honor. Again, the issue here is with the exception of the mental health expert that's already been approved, there would need to be much more specific motions for these costs. Ms. Boone needs to include essentially what we included in our response. And again, the model motions that we'll be sending to will have that information.
Yeah, she's in way over her head.
The court can make an informed decision on whether the request is appropriate.
Okay. Ma'am, the motion fails to identify any specifics. It has to be determined for your expert witness what witness is. It does not identify the type of the witnesses. It doesn't identify the amounts, and it's difficult for me to identify the particular showing of need, which is what's required for the appointment of that expert. So again, I'm going to give you the opportunity to refile in the future a motion pertaining to any specific experts, identifying the specificity that JACS has requested in their response. So at this point in time, that motion is denied without prejudice, and you'll have the opportunity to refile it. Lastly is the defendant's motion requesting immediate relief to the defendant by appointing effective standby counsel to aid in support and preparation of a criminal case for trial dated July 18, 2024 and received July 29, 2024. The request, ma'am, that you were seeking in that motion is to provide immediate relief to the defendant by appointing effective standby counsel to aid in support and preparation of a criminal case for trial. State, do you have any position with regard to Ms. Boone's request for standby counsel? No, Your Honor, other than what's already been placed on record in the court's order. Okay. Mr. Lake, anything over and above what's in your response?
Just briefly, Your Honor, the point we would make, Your Honor, is I think Ms. Boone misunderstands the role of standby counsel. Standby counsel is not co-counsel or assistant counsel to a defendant. Standby counsel is there for when in the situation where a pro se defendant who is elected to represent herself decide at some point they want a lawyer, that allows the court to put a lawyer back into play at that point in time. In other words, it's a safety mechanism so that if a defendant who is...
Now, this is going to be frustrating to watch, folks, because she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. She's going to sit up there and act like she knows what the fuck she's doing. And that's going to be annoying as shit for these people. But what's going to be even more annoying is as she sits there and acts like she knows what the fuck she's doing, they're going to give her a lesson in the law every 2 seconds. So it's just, this is going to be a nightmare for the prosecutor and for the judge. I mean, they're going to win. It's just the process to getting there is going to suck.
So to represent themselves, decide at some point they no longer want to represent themselves. The court has a lawyer already in place so that the progress is not delayed. It is not an assistant or a co-counsel. It is someone whose role is essentially not to get involved until the defendant says, I no longer want to represent myself.
Ma'am, the court's had the opportunity to review the case law on this issue. There is no constitutional right to stand by counsel as decided by Paul versus State 152 Southern 3rd 645
Oh, wow.
and 641 by the 4th District Court of Appeal in 2014, citing to the Florida Supreme Court case in Jones v.
Okay.
State 449 Southern
So she filed a motion. She filed a motion for standby counsel, which means that if she gets to a point to where she says, I can't represent myself anymore, then the standby counsel steps in. But the problem with that is she doesn't have a constitutional right to it, which I don't fully understand, but that's what the judge just said, that she does not have the right to a standby counsel.
253 at pinpoint 258 from 1984. As the court has determined that you have forfeited and alternatively waived by your conduct the right to court-appointed counsel, the court is not required to appoint standby counsel. And that's Brown v. State 45 Southern 3rd 110 at pinpoint 114 through 115. Florida 1st CCA 2010, citing to again Jones v. State by the Florida Supreme Court in 1984. There is no Sixth Amendment right to simultaneously proceed pro se and with legal representation by the Florida Supreme Court in 2009 in Shepherd v. State 17 Southern 3rd 275 and 279. For the reasons that the court identified in its 16-page order previously entered, your request for standby counsel is denied. Do you have any other questions, ma'am, as to the court's rulings this morning?
First off, I did not forfeit my right. That was your judgment. And also, I feel that I should have had some type of evidentiary hearing prior to your decision, so I could have better explained myself and you could have a better understanding. So by you denying my standby counsel, which thank you to him for explaining to me what specifically it is, I don't want to be pro se any longer. So I didn't want to be pro se in the first place. And again, you, in my opinion, unlawfully denied me or didn't even suggest an evidentiary hearing for me to avoid or try to.
Yeah, see, everything that she's saying right now confirms my suspicion that she was absolutely abusing her right to counsel, to court-appointed counsel. She was abusing it because she was going through lawyer after lawyer after lawyer, and she thinks that she could just keep getting lawyer after lawyer after lawyer and never have to face trial, and that there's no limit to this. And she's basically confirming this. She's like, I never wanted to be pro se. I never wanted to represent myself. I never forfeited my right to counsel. You made the judgment. But I mean, what happens here? What happens? I mean, because again, the judge can kind of do whatever the fuck the judge wants. You know what I mean? Like, she could file a complaint or whatever, but if Judge Bev can do everything that she's done in the Karen Reed trial and in pre-trial, if Judge Bev can do everything that she's done and get away with it, this guy can most definitely call a limit to how many lawyers she's going to go through. And then that's it. She blew it. It's all over. Now you don't have a choice. And the fact that it makes it easy to make that decision if you're a judge, I would imagine, especially if you if you see that the person is abusive. Nobody should have to go through that, especially somebody whose job it is to defend her. Chloe Albert's Revenge, thank you so much. Anyone else think that this was an attempt to get the attention of a TV network to pay for her defense in exchange for her story, a la Amy Fisher? Man, I don't know. The Amy Fisher story was really sensationalized because of the drama. Because you had Joey Buttafuoco, he's married, he messes with this underage girl, and then she gets jealous and shoots his wife in the face, and she survives. I mean, a lot of drama there, a lot of drama. That this is, it's a fucking suitcase. At the end of the day, it's two drunks, and this guy got into a suitcase, and then she saw an opportunity for him to die. And she thought it could look like an accident. That's what I think. So I don't, Long Island Lolita, that was her name. I mean, Suitcase Sarah is no Amy Fisher. You know what I mean? Not as far as sensationalism goes.
So I don't know if it's me either wasting your time or anybody else's time. If it's even
Yeah, I just don't think a news network would think it's worth it.
It is denied, period.
My
With regard
point.
to an evidentiary hearing, that seems to be in the realm of a Feretta inquiry where a criminal defendant is seeking to represent themselves. And I would inquire of that person and have an evidentiary hearing as to the rights and remedies that you were forfeiting and the pros and cons of proceeding representing yourself and the benefits of being represented by counsel. Due to the Florida case law that was provided in the 16-page order, no such evidentiary hearing is required.
My understanding was the hearing, the Feretta hearing, is regards to competency as opposed to having understanding before you take someone's right to it.
Feretta pertains to a criminal defendants seeking to represent themselves. Feretta was not applicable to your situation, and that's identified in the case law citations that were provided in the 16-page order.
Yes, I understand. It was the day of that I was explaining most of all of this, and as opposed to prior, so I would know what happened or could happen. So my understanding is one thing, and then the explanation is another. So I'm just confused and feel that I should have an opportunity prior to all of this to explain myself and to have a better understanding.
The explanation is one thing. My understanding of it, something else entirely. She just said that shit. I'm a little confused.
Better understanding. So now my belief was that the evidence or the Feretta hearing was simply competency. So the evidentiary hearing I thought would be a collaboration of the information of why I wrote my letters in order for you to remove my right to counsel. In my opinion, I felt that it was retaliation by the court because you did not understand or attempt to understand any of my letters that I wrote previously, which was for the intervention of the judge and or the court to avoid any of this with you sitting in front of you present.
Ma'am, as identified in my 16-page order, I listened to every audio hearing. I specifically provided dates and times and words that were specifically said at particular hearings involving yourself and prior counsel. I also made reference in the 16-page order to statements that were made in your letters. I promise you, I've read everything in the court file. I've read every single letter, and I've listened to every single audio. That decision was not made lightly, and it took a lot of time to make that determination and that decision, which explains why it was also a 16-page order. That order stands, it remains. The court's not going to revise its findings or its determination as to your forfeiture, and alternatively a waiver by virtue of the conduct identified in that order.
Okay, I believe, in my opinion, the order is erroneous, and after I reviewed your 16-page order, there are quite a few incorrect entries, and some of them are based on perjury by the attorneys. And by you reading and then also listening to the audio, you did not listen to me in any way, shape, or form in order for me to explain myself better so you have an exact understanding of the particulars of each letter for each attorney.
I'm not going to revisit my prior decision.
I understand. I'm just trying to make you aware that it's my opinion.
You and like we talked about last time, and you're certainly entitled to that opinion. All right. My judicial assistant has been in contact with the representative from the Orange County Jail, Sergeant Donald Casey, who is on his way in order to facilitate the transfer of the USB drives from Prison Break Investigations. I do see that Mr. Lane is present. So as soon as he gets here, we'll be able to address that exchange. What we can do while we're waiting for that representative to appear is address some of the things that were identified in the notice of hearing for today, which is kind of a scheduling conference for when we might be setting up certain deadlines. As of right now, the trial is scheduled for October 7th. The trial will be extended from 2 weeks to 3 weeks. So the trial will take place on October 7th, October 14th, and the third week of October 21st. October 21st is not this division's normal trial week. However, the court has obtained coverage for that week so that should this trial proceed into a third week, we will not have to scramble in order to find coverage, and that we'll be able to efficiently proceed with any evidence or testimony on that third week on October 21. Pre-trial was scheduled for September 24th at 1:30. The court typically has its regular trial case managements on that Tuesday. Due to Ms. Boone representing herself and some of the complex issues that may be involved in this case, I'm inclined to change the date of the pretrial so that we might be able to have our own pretrial separate and apart from all the other cases that may be set for that same trial period. My thought would be to move it to, rather than the Tuesday the 24th, to Tuesday the 26th at 9 a.m.
Is that Thursday?
Yes, sir. That's Thursday.
That's acceptable to the state.
Ms. Boone, that would give you additional opportunity to prepare for trial as well. Are you amenable to changing that date to September 26th at 9 a.m.?
So additional 2 days?
Correct. You would still have that time to prepare regardless if we had the hearing on September 24 or September 26th. I'm just moving it so that we don't have 50 or 60 other cases and I can focus more attention on your case specifically.
Of course.
Okay, all right, so pretrial will be rescheduled till September 26th at 9 a.m. One of the issues that I wanted to address was deadlines for production of the state's exhibits and the defendant's exhibits. Now, I'm mindful, Ms. Boone, that you have not reviewed some of the documents that may have been provided. I know most recently, Ms. Cashman spent 20 hours with you alone going over questionings and reviewing some of the materials. I don't know the breadth and scope of what was reviewed to you, but some of it may have been reviewed to you based on counsel's representations. State, I want to address with you first, because Ms. Boone hasn't reviewed the discovery yet, as to what your position is with regard to assembling or finalizing an exhibit list or your exhibits for trial.
As far as providing a list of the specific items that the state seeks entry of?
Correct. I do want it before pretrial. So let me just kind of lay the map for what the court's thinking. The court would have the state provide a exhibit list and a witness list by X date. Ms. Boone would have the opportunity to look at that list. We would then have a hearing where all of the exhibits would be shown to and provided to Ms. Boone. They would be provided on a USB thumb drive that could be utilized with a laptop at the jail. And then she could view all those exhibits here in open court. And then she would be afforded the opportunity to make objections in writing to any exhibits at a later time by a certain date.
I guess one of the concerns would be that if the state identified specific items that we would seek entry of,
I guess
the course of the trial and the questioning.
I guess one of the concerns would be since she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing, she's gonna make this shit drag on and on and on and on. But you know, he can't say that.
The other items that have already been disclosed in discovery that may necessitate being entered in would potentially not be part of this original witness exhibit list. You know, items that were in the discovery, but if that makes sense.
That does make sense. Yeah. I understand what you're saying. And that seems to be more of a fluid situation as to what may happen at trial, right?
Now,
sure. You know, I don't imagine the court's intent would be for the state to just produce.
I'm looking forward to this for another reason that I just realized as well. I'm looking forward to going over this trial because her representing herself, there's going to be a lot of explanation. Like right now, for instance, the judge, even though we didn't need him to do so, but he just explained how an evidentiary hearing works. Like it's pretty standard. Like when we watched it in the Karen Reed trial, Judge Bev didn't explain what an evidentiary hearing was. Judge Bev was just like, we're going to have an evidentiary hearing. And all the attorneys knew what that meant. Right? But now you see him explaining everything that is happening so that he's abundantly clear to her and she understands everything and the purposes behind every decision that he makes. So this is going to be, I'm seeing covering this as an opportunity because I'm going to have an opportunity to understand the law a little bit better, seeing as there's going to be a lot of explaining of things that are going to take place that we normally wouldn't get. You know, so law tubers, when they cover these things, they're able to go, okay, well, just so you guys, for you guys who don't know, this means this and this means that and blah, 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 blah. But now this is going to happen for all of us. Since Sarah Boone has rights and she is a layman at best, a lot is going to be explained to her, which means that a lot is going to be explained to us. And I'm looking forward to learning a lot more about the law and how criminal law works here by watching this trial.
The exact witness lists have already been sent in discovery and just make a notation of every item of evidence. The idea would be to try to pare down.
That's exactly the idea. Now, obviously, that wouldn't foreclose you if something was produced in discovery and something that would not be relevant or admissible at a certain stage of the trial, but maybe later became relevant or admissible due to something that happened or something that was said.
How's your
I would not
food,
foreclose
buddy?
the state
Is it
nor
good?
foreclose Ms. Boone from attempting to move that piece of evidence into evidence for the jury to consider. But it would be almost like a civil conference where you and opposing counsel would go over what your exhibits are prior to proceeding to trial. And I think that's important to do that so that Ms. Boone has the opportunity to view those.
What's this guy wearing?
On the record as to what she's reviewed, and then give her the opportunity to provide any.
Is this guy wearing a fucking duster? Like in Always Sunny? Like, what's this dude wearing, bro? Is he wearing a fucking duster in the courtroom? Has he got a rifle under there? What is going on?
Objections, if any, to any of those exhibits. And again, I wouldn't foreclose you if you want to use items A, B, and C, and that's all you intend on using. I don't know what you intend on using. I don't know what evidence you have. If you only want to use and only show A, B, and C, but are saving D, E, and F for later, depending on what happens, I won't foreclose you from readdressing D, E, and F.
He's from the
It's just an opportunity to
future.
address what it is you think you're going to be seeking.
He's totally a Terminator.
At this time.
So essentially,
Sarah Boone.
so I think we could accommodate that if we could go.
Where's Sarah Boone?
For that, and then that would give her an opportunity to review that USB and lodge any objections, and then we could potentially address those objections and go from there.
Okay, and that would be September 1.
No, not Sarah Carla, you idiot.
Or for the list to be provided.
Sarah Boone.
Okay, we're gonna make this work for an October 7th trial date, Judge. I think September 1st is probably about the right time frame to have this in-court hearing to begin lodging those objections if she has any. My next question is, are you expecting the physical evidence to be brought here?
Look at this guy biting his nails and shit.
She can potentially open it. Are we talking about digital evidence and giving her a list of the physical items?
If there's physical evidence that's sought, I want her to have the opportunity to review it.
And we should be looking at the top of the month for September so that we can get this.
Okay, all right. Ma'am, do you understand that what it is that I'm discussing right now so that you have the opportunity to review the evidence that the state may be seeking into evidence in your trial?
Is it my understanding that they will supply me with a USB drive and then I am to review it while in court?
No, ma'am. So it's kind of a two-step process. So anything that's digital, that's not forensics or CSI or something that's tangible, will be provided to you on a USB drive. We also will have a hearing where all of the evidence, including any digital, electronic evidence, or any tangible evidence, CSI materials, will be shown to you in court, played to you in court, so you have the opportunity to review it here as well. Anything else will also be given to you on a thumb drive for you to review at your leisure based on the hours of 8 to 4 by the laptop at the Orange County Jail. Then we will have a deadline after we have this evidence viewing for you to identify in writing any objections that you have to any of the evidence that's been provided by the state.
So it's not a matter of any type of confidentiality. It is all done in the courtroom with everyone?
It would be in the courtroom, correct?
Are there going to be news cameras to talk about?
That's something I need to address. I do not want.
She's awfully concerned with
because
news
our jury pool
cameras.
is going to be coming from Orange County. I have concerns about media's presence.
You see
in
what I'm
the evidence you're
saying?
reviewing.
She loves this shit. She loves this shit. And this is the thing is I could just tell what kind of an asshole she is. So yeah, I'm gonna give her exactly what she wants. But the thing is the world is gonna see how much of an asshole she is. I want her to show the world how much of an asshole she is. I look forward to watching that.
So I may have to enter an order which would prohibit media access for the purposes of that hearing due to the nature of what is being produced and reviewed, so as to further prevent intimate details of the case being released prior to trying the case.
I understand that, Judge. Ms. Boone, not to turn the page completely, but I think it's pertinent to this discussion, has indicated through some counsel that had met with her recently that she wants to talk to the state out of the jail. And I was going to discuss that at the end, but perhaps to not waste the court's time, I don't know about bringing physical evidence out to the jail, but as far as
Finish your
digital
food,
evidence,
buddy.
which will include autopsy photographs, which will include crime scene photographs, which will include videos, perhaps a different suggestion, especially since she has an investigator from Prison Break, is that we identify those files that we intend on introducing at trial so that they can review that digital evidence on their own in the jail, and we're not publishing all the digital evidence here in open court. That should allow her the opportunity to lodge any potential objections such as duplicative or any other objections she may want to raise about autopsy photos, so on and so forth, without exposing all the digital media to the public. As far as the physical evidence, the state doesn't have any real concerns about the media covering that. She can open those exhibits, or somebody with scissors can open those exhibits for her if there are any exhibits she wishes open in the witness box where it's concealed.
This is the Sarah Boone case, the suitcase killer. Suitcase Sarah.
The only concern that I have with that is I don't have a record as to what it is that she reviewed.
My suggestion would be that because this is in the context of plea negotiations potentially, I would be out there, Mr. Cashore would be out there, and our investigator would be out there, and we would record it. The conversation that we have, of course, and that would all be protected because it would be in the spirit of plea negotiations under the evidence code. And then we can all file in writing, the state can file in writing, these are the videos that we are going to use. These are the particular photograph numbers from the crime scene and from the autopsy photographs that we're going to use. And then we can have the defense sign off on that as well, so that it's documented as to what was told that she would be facing at trial. And either she can review it with her investigator or she can review it with us, being present.
Right, Scott. I mean,
what are your thoughts on that?
If there's going to be a shit show, you better believe that I'm in, for the shit show, of course. But at the same time, there's a lot of reasons why I would really want to go over this case. But yeah, this is it's most definitely going to be an entertaining thing to watch. It's going to be frustrating, it's going to be frustrating because I imagine this judge is going to be very patient. I can see how he's doing things. Like even when he's explaining things to opposing counsel, he's still doing so in a fashion to which he hopes that she understands, just to move things along. So he's not at all like being passive aggressive with her in any way, shape, or form. He's being incredibly patient, and what he's doing is he's managing his time in a very productive manner by, even when addressing opposing counsel, he's explaining things like opposing counsel is 7, which he's doing so for the benefit of Sarah Boone, so that because she has rights, she has a right to understand what's going on. So she's, he's just doing his best to make this move along. She has fewer questions, fewer reasons to stall. So this judge is great so far. I'm really liking this judge.
I'm a little off. So an option of reviewing what the state has with my investigator and then be able to come with the objections and everything.
I think it's really shitty. Obviously, those of you who've been following me during the Karen Reed stuff, I don't like people who weaponize the law. They did it to Turtle Boy. I don't like people who weaponize the law. And she's manipulating. She's using the law, even though she's not an attorney. There's probably no way she'd ever pass the bar. But at the same time, she's smart enough to do something incredibly simple. She's smart enough to find the simple way to stall, which was, okay, well, I have a right to an attorney. I'm going to abuse this right. And I'm going to make my attorney's life so fucking miserable that they file a motion to not represent me. And then I get another one and I go through the same thing over and over again. And I never go to trial. I never have to be held accountable for what I did. So someone who has that kind of go get 'em attitude, that kind of tenacity that it requires, that would be required to pull that off. It says a lot about her. It says a lot about her. This is crazy. So I don't like people who do this. I think it's really shitty. And not even just the fact that she's doing this over and over again with different attorneys, but what really bugs me is how abusive she is towards the people who and they're supposed to just have to take this. And it's also that they give up. Like she's literally consciously causing emotional distress to another human being with a purpose, that purpose being to stall so that they quit, and then she goes through the same thing with another one. She can cold-bloodedly, systematically drive someone to the point of feeling so abused that they have to say, I don't get paid enough for this. This is a bad person. This is a very bad person, Sarah Boone. suitcase killer. She is awful. I'm really looking forward to her sentencing.
That's correct.
I'm clear on having all of my evidence being in sealed bags and for me to be able to inspect them to be here in the courtroom. I don't know how the attorneys have done any of this prior, but I don't believe that I was in the courtroom. So I'm just trying to protect myself against the media. I'm not sure at this point what is even suppressible that is available on the internet. But at the same time, though, it is my understanding that I should have some right to privacy in reviewing my evidence. So I didn't know if my investigator and I are able to collaborate prior and view and then come to court with any finalized and ready to go answers.
I'm certainly going to give you an opportunity to meet with your investigator to address it. The question is just the method of how to do it. The state's proposal is digital. They would meet with you, identify specifically digitally what videos, what photographs they intend on utilizing, and anything that may be physical, CSI, et cetera, would be addressed here in open court.
Just so the court and the defendant understands how physical evidence would operate normally, the defense attorney and or her or his investigator would come out either to the sheriff's office or OPD's evidence center, whichever agency, and they come and view it. But it's done in the presence of the state, it's done in the presence of law enforcement, it's done in the presence of the CSI for the chain of custody. So attorneys don't get privacy when they're reviewing the physical evidence either. So that wouldn't really be any different than if she's doing it in the witness stand or wherever would be deemed suitable in court.
I think that's the most appropriate way to have the opportunity, ma'am, to review the evidence. I can't release that evidence to Mr. Lane to bring to the jail for your review because of the chain of custody issues concerning some of the physical evidence. So CSI would have to be here just like an evidence viewing at the sheriff's office or elsewhere where counsel just identified. And I cannot bring you anywhere else other than here, and I can't release you to anywhere else. So I think the only solution that we have is to have the evidence media access. So without doing a little bit more further dive of research in that, I don't know if I can make that call at this time.
Yes, I have not heard of a case where the evidentiary hearing has been televised. So if you could please look into that, I disagree with the media being involved in that.
I understand your position, and again, for the reasons that I stated earlier, I'm
What?
trying to prohibit as much as I can from the dissemination to the public, especially some of the exhibits that the state may be seeking to utilize. We are going to go ahead and set the evidence hearing. The first is Sunday. September the 1st is a Sunday, and that is Labor Day. The court would be setting a hearing for Tuesday, the 3rd at 9 a.m. to have the physical examination here in court. At that time, if the USB drive or the after our viewing here in court stays at your position to then have that.
Oh yeah, we there's new merch. I don't know if Cherry's still in the chat, but there's new merch if you guys want to check it out. Yeah, she totally has fans.
Meeting with Ms. Boone and her investigator and your investigator under the plea negotiations or settlement discussions auspices to review all the digital and identify what it is specifically.
We are happy to defer to the defendant's wishes on that. And I want to have that discussion. It seems like we're turning that discussion. So I'll leave it in Ms. Boone's court. My indication from one of the attorneys that she had discussed things with said that she wanted to have conversation with us. And so I'm offering that up. In the past, with female defendants at the Orange County Jail, there are classrooms, or at least one classroom there, where we could arrange to meet. It would be a big enough room for 4 or 5 of us that need to be there. And then we can discuss that, whatever it is she wants to discuss, and it would be recorded. And again, those portions of the conversation that are about plea negotiations and the evidence and what on the trial, I believe under the evidence code would not be admissible to be used against her. And I can leave it to her when she wants that to happen. We can make arrangements to try and accommodate that. It should not take us very long at this point, given the age of this case, to select and identify which digital evidence exhibits we're going to use. It's simply a matter of getting rid of duplicative and irrelevant photographs from the scene and the autopsy. And I believe the videos won't be too hard to decide which ones to use. I don't know that there's a whole lot of other digital evidence.
Okay. All right, ma'am, do you have a thought on when you would like this viewing to take place at one of the classrooms at the Orange County Jail under the concept as identified by the state?
So this
Well,
is separate. This is prior before everything else.
What I would envision is
bro, I get it. Richard Ramirez had fans, but the thing is Richard Ramirez, man, like, you know, he was somewhat desirable physically to women, you know, as like, you know what I mean? I mean, it's bizarre that anybody liked the guy, but you know, they didn't know that he smelled bad. You know what I mean? Couldn't really see his teeth. And you know, there's a lot of idiots out there. You know what I mean? But the thing with her though is I don't understand anybody who would like fan boy or fan girl this person at all. Like she's the epitome of undesirable. Like everything about her is unattractive. Yeah. I feel like the short guy in Oh Brother Where Art Thou? Where Art Thou? Would play her in the movie. I feel like that dude would play her. There's absolutely no, I mean, I get that she's in jail, you know what I mean? But like that footage of her, even, you know, with the body cam footage, gross. No. I mean, dude, just fucking look at her, dude. Like she just exudes nastiness. Like, look at her fucking eyes, bro. Like she's just the way that she's looking right now. This is just a miserable fucking asshole who fucking hates everything, has no respect for anything. Just look at her, dude. You know? Like I don't understand it. I see people like this and like they're married to somebody or dating people. Like I just can't imagine being at such a low point in my life where I'm like, yeah, you're the one for me. I just can't imagine.
To not waste anybody's time, is we can go out there and have this discussion. If there is a discussion we had about plea offers, one of the other topics was other matters, so that's kind of ambiguous. I'm not sure what other matters are. And then also we can let her know and probably provide the court in writing a list of the digital evidence that we seek to introduce. And then that way, if she wants us to review those digital evidence items together with her in the presence of everybody, we can do that. Or we can let her, with the list of the digital evidence that we plan on introducing, review that as many times as she wants by herself and or with Mr. Lane.
I understand. So would I be leaving with the digital evidence today, or how soon may I receive that?
So the state needs to assemble that. So my thought would be to have that meeting, ma'am, on the 3rd of.
Yeah, she's
September.
not.
So we would have a hearing at 9 o'clock in the morning where the physical evidence would be reviewed.
She's not chained to that chair, dude. Like she could stand up
Here in the courtroom. As soon as that evidence was finalized and reviewed.
Hey Jerry, drop the merch link.
Investigator would then meet that afternoon at the Orange County Jail.
Drop the merch link, please.
To address, as the state has identified or spoken about, settlement negotiations, plea offers.
Hayden Kane, thank you so much.
What the digital exhibits are. They would.
You can find better at 1 a.m. at the local VFW. Oh my God.
Provide you those on
for
USB
real,
drive,
like,
and they would identify for them specifically what it is that they are seeking for you to review at that point in time and have the ability to review it afterwards.
We're happy to do that beforehand, and I just want clarification. By providing her the USB with all the narrowed down exhibits out of discovery, are we providing it to Mr. Lane? How are we?
It would have to be provided to Mr. Lane, who would then have to provide it to a member of the staff at the jail, the names of which I have from the captain at the jail as to what persons are involved in the laptop process. And then once that's done, I would require Mr. Lane to identify with filing in the court, probably in the form of an affidavit, as to when, where, and how the USB drive was received by him, and when, where, how, and to whom it was delivered.
Your Honor, I feel uncomfortable with you supplying my evidence to the jail. So I don't know if there's a way that, I don't know if you are aware, but my jail phone calls have been released, and there's a lot of things that have been released from the jail. So I don't know, I do not feel protected by you all handing it to the jail. I know that Mr. Lane and I previously had worked on the laptop with USB drives that he has furnished himself from bringing in from the outside. So I didn't know, I would feel more comfortable that there's a process or procedure. I don't know who your names are from the jail. I do know the captain whom I spoke to the other day regarding my laptop. But I would very much.
Who was that, ma'am?
I'm sorry?
Who was that?
For which?
The captain that you spoke to. Who was it?
D. Giovanni.
Okay.
There's multiple sergeants involved, and I did get Giovanni, who was supposed to be here today to pick up USB drives. So I don't feel comfortable, please, with providing the USB drive of my evidence with things that have been leaked or released from the jail. So if there's a possibility, please, I would like for my investigator to have that and bring it with me prior.
If I understand the jail's protocol, which I read to you at our last hearing, the jail will keep custody of the USB drives and release them with the laptop as well. So I don't know how I can bypass that process that they've created, because the USB drives in the laptop, when it's checked out by you and when it's returned by you, is all going to be logged in their IMS system.
Right, it's simply a laptop. It's a very basic laptop where anyone affiliated with my case has the type of digital evidence they bring in with them from the outside. It's simply a basic laptop that we are able to utilize at the Orange County Corrections Department. That's how we have done that prior. So I don't know what it is different. I don't know the jail protocol because no one's included me.
You were provided a copy of it through the court filing, and I read it to you at the last hearing.
Your understanding is different than my understanding because my contacts from the jail are telling me something different.
But your understanding is not really my concern, you know?
Ma'am, I'm deferring to what the Orange County Jail and the captain that you identified specifically as to her memorandum to the court, which was read to you at our last hearing, which was sent a copy to you by notice of service, and it was provided by U.S. mail. It was sent out last week. Don't worry, I have a copy to give to you this morning, just in case you have not received it.
I got you, girl.
The implementation of your USB drive.
Okay. All right.
So anything that you're speaking of in the meantime, I do not know, and it was served by process,
It was served by U.S. mail.
by US mail? Yes. I actually have 3 motions, please, if I may submit them to you.
In a moment.
Yes, in the process of, because the address that you are, I'm guessing, sending these to is incorrect.
I received your letter addressing the address issue. That's been remedied. So the appropriate legal mail address will be utilized. It was simply a clerical error, and that has been remedied. But regardless, I did read to you at our last hearing the protocol for the USB drive in the jail. The court is inclined to follow the Orange County Jail's protocol with regard to the USB drives. So the evidence, digital evidence that the state seeks to admit at trial will be put on a USB drive, delivered to Mr. Lane. That will be delivered to a representative from the Orange County Jail. And Mr. Lane will thereafter file a filing with the court in the form of an affidavit identifying when he received it from the state and who he gave it to, when he gave it to, and what representative of the jail he gave it to.
So it goes from the state to Mr. Lane to the jail.
For the purposes of indexing it, for the purposes of their records under the protocol, and then it will be available for your use.
So if I want to see all of my evidence.
Oh my God.
Contact someone at the jail.
No, no. The evidence that were in the 2 bankers box that Mr. Lane digitized for you is going to be provided to the jail. That's going to be provided with the laptop to you. And that's available to you from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day in the protocol that I read to you at our last hearing.
Right.
Yes, and I will speak to the captain.
So anything digital, any of the evidence that's digital, you'll get to review in jail. And a laptop will be provided for you to review it. Anything physical is going to be reviewed here in court. It's real simple. Like, she's just finding things to be difficult about.
To be aware that everyone that it is in the process, if I do not feel comfortable with any of this, I do not feel protected either by the courts or the jail system. So for right now, I don't know if it can be postponed or if it's something that I need to write another letter to. Everything takes longer in jail. So by me trying to get a hold of the captain nonetheless, it's going to be a feat in itself. So I want you to know if anything that I'm in the process of trying to reach out to the captain, I don't know if she'll be here today or if it'll be the contact person. So in the process, I am working on speaking to the captain because I do not feel, like I said, that I'm protected in any way, shape, or form by the Orange County Corrections Department withholding my evidence in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. The court's going to follow the procedure as I outlined at the last hearing. So here's what we will do. We will, on Thursday, September the 3rd at 9 a.m., we'll have a hearing to review the physical evidence. At that time, the state will provide its exhibit list, which will be filed with the court at that time, and a copy will be given to Ms. Boone of the physical and the digital evidence they are seeking to admit. After we have the in-court examination of the physical evidence, that afternoon, there will be a meeting at the Orange County Jail between the state, its investigator, Mr. Lane, Ms. Boone, to review the digital evidence and provide a USB drive with that information.
Again, caveat in that order being, unless it hasn't already been done.
She being who, the captain?
No, I'm not sure the name.
Oh, Madam Clerk, no, the only thing she's printed out for you right now, ma'am, is that protocol. I'm going to be finalizing the order. And like I said, I may be able to finish it before we're done with the hearing, and I'll hand deliver it to you. If I cannot, it'll be mailed to you.
Yes, I understand. It was regards to another document proposing the dates for today's hearing. And I guess it's some type of notice. That's what please that she's going to print out to give to me, so I have that.
Okay.
I did not receive that, nor did I receive this protocol list.
As to everything that's being discussed. Can you print it? It should be in the file. All right, man, let me take a moment to review your motions. Give me a moment here.
Thank you. to see if I wanted my hard copy discovery. I would believe it was the court's understanding, the judge's understanding that it should automatically be allowed to give to me. My understanding and trying to explain to you also, so you have an understanding, is my limited, restricted access to the laptop is from 8 to 4. I, with 62 days left in order to defend myself in preparation for trial, would like to close that laptop at 4 p.m. and then pick up the discovery hard copy in the 2 boxes that I have. I haven't spoken to the captain yet. I just now received the protocol for the laptop. I know that you had mentioned it to me the last time we met with one another. So I'm confused how everyone is confused by me coming to the court with solutions and ideas and suggestions, but are being misinterpreted and misconstrued like my order, my letters from my attorneys, and you're coming to the wrong conclusion.
I'm not coming to any conclusion. The process was created, and I'm just reciting what you've said to me in prior hearings, man. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah,
you told me you have
it's
limited
the
space.
law.
You've told
That's
me
how it
that
works.
you have no privacy, and that you have a small drawer for personal effects. This is the first time I've heard anything about you having a locker or some kind of bag, a property bag, that you now have access to. That wasn't addressed at our last hearing. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. So I'm not drawing any improper conclusions, as I identified for you with the process. The jail created this process. It was something that they put together. And as I told you, we worked diligently to move forward, to get with the jail to have this done. There's no nefariousness here. There's no undermining. There's nothing along those lines. I want you to have this information. And as I addressed at the last hearing, I could not copy it. I can't look at it. I can't look at it.
See, she thinks
Ms. Berrios cannot. No one associated with my.
She thinks that if she's representing herself, she gets to be treated like a lawyer, that she's no longer in jail. Yeah, she's got to sleep there, but she has the right to just fuck off and fuck around on a laptop and say that she's doing whatever she needs to represent herself. But I call bullshit on that. I mean, it's really fascinating to me that she thinks that, like, I mean, I know that she just wants to see what people are saying about her. I think that she's dying inside right now to know what the outside world is saying about her. She wants to look at YouTube channels. She wants to watch court TV. She wants to watch Law and Crime. She wants to see what people are saying about her. She wants access to this laptop for more than, 8 hours? She gets it for 8 hours a day, as I understand it. It's 8 hours where she gets to sit there and work on her case. I mean, that's a work day, bro. Lady, like, what does she think? That she's going to get to go to bed with the laptop? You know? What's up, boo? Want to FaceTime? No, dude, you're in jail. You're in jail. Stop it. Like, you're going to be treated like you're still in jail, lady.
With my office can look at it. We had to use your investigator to do that. And what the jail has advised me is that they were not in a position to take both those bankers boxes because of space and potential hazards. Now, if something has changed and the captain advises me that you can have those documents, I don't have a problem with you having them. But what I've been advised, as identified in that protocol, is to how and when you can have access to the information. And unfortunately, it wasn't in physical form. It was in digital form. And that was the process that the jail created. They are aware it's 2 bankers boxes. They're aware of what the information is. Everything has been out in the open to address your concerns and how to facilitate getting this information to you. No one's withholding anything. No one's trying to hide the ball.
Right.
My opinion differs.
Nobody gives a fuck. My opinion differs.
You forfeit my right to counsel. I was never asked anything in order for you to have a better understanding.
Ma'am, I'm not going to revisit that.
I am not, you never asked me in regards to the hard copy.
Hang on. Yes.
How quickly can we have an evidentiary hearing with the captain or whomever?
My understanding is she's on vacation this week. So, which is why Sergeant Casey was here, because Captain DiGiovanni is on vacation. And I cannot recall off the top of my head when she's set to return. She's set to return on the 12th.
So if the document, what would be the process? Because it's marked, tagged, and in evidence, so there would need to be a motion to get it released from evidence.
I mean, I would entertain it or a tennis motion to have it released from evidence. The concern as, and Mr. J, this is the first time I had the opportunity to discuss this case with you. I know I've been dealing with Mr. Cacciatore. We had a hearing, and I'm sure you're first on this, but let me just kind of bring you up to speed. We had a hearing in June, and at that point in time, I forfeited Ms. Boone's right to an attorney based on her conduct and alternatively a waiver. And I'm sure you've read it. Thereafter, the court endeavored to figure out how to get those 2 bankers boxes that Ms. Cashman had provided to the court at that hearing in Ms. Boone's possession. It took time for the jail to come up with a policy and a procedure for that to happen. I was advised by the captain that they could not take custody or possession of those 2 bankers boxes because of A, storage, and B, because of the hazard. Now, if the jail is in a position to revise that by virtue of Ms. Boone identifying a property bag or something that may be available for her use, I'm 100% on board. If the jail says, yeah, we can facilitate and make that happen, her getting that information. I'm just traveling with what I've been provided And the protocol that was provided to me, that's been filed in the court file, was not inclusive of providing her hard copies.
Actually, I'm just trying to find a solution. So
Same.
if she moves Ori Tennis to release those 2 exhibits to her investigator, then perhaps he can try and get them released to her. And if he cannot, then it sounds like on the 12th, we can revisit this when the captain's back.
I think I don't know if she returns on the 12th or that's when her vacation ends. But it's a Monday, so I'm assuming she'll be back, but I don't want to make any affirmative statements on that. I don't have a problem. Mr. Lane's had this discovery. I don't have a problem with him taking custody of it again. And if he's able to deliver it to the jail and they allow it to be released to Ms. Boone, I don't have a problem with that. I have no problem with it. I'm just traveling on what the jail has advised the court in the creation of this process.
So if she wants to Ori Tennis, which means oral motion.
Yeah, the judge is saying, dude, I don't give a fuck who has the evidence. It's perfectly fucking cool with me that she reviews the evidence as much as she wants. The decision as to how she reviews the evidence and when, in what setting, the time, I mean, that is all the jail. He's like, I don't give a fuck. She can have whatever she wants. You can have whatever you want. I don't give a shit. But I don't make the rules of the jail, bro.
Move to release those 2 exhibits. The state has no objection. And it sounds like if Mr. Lane can't get them to her, we'll be able to revisit this in the near time.
Yes.
Just what she's advised. So I want to ask her, but perhaps the court can
Sure.
answer that.
Ma'am, the state has recommended a position for in an attempt to get you these hard copies. Is that something that you would like the court to, would you like to follow with the state's suggestion and ask that of the court orally this morning?
I'm not understanding what it is.
Wow.
May I please propose that the hard copies go to Mr. Lane, and then once I have permission by the captain and member, you can release them to me?
Granted.
No objection to her.
Okay. Mr. Lane, thank you for staying, sir. I appreciate you. If you could come back up here, sir, and take custody of both of those banker's boxes. I will have Ms. Barrios coordinate a hearing for the 13th at 8:45. We cannot do the 13th because it's pre-trial. You're correct. We will have a hearing on August 14th, if necessary, on Wednesday, August 14th at 1:30, if we need to address the jail's position in taking hard copies, if Mr. Lane's unable to have.
Utilizing my phone, is that something that can be brought to the courtroom? And
Protocol is Captain Giovanni, Donald Casey, who was here this morning, Stephanie DeJesus, Sonia Robinson, Courtney Battle, and Malik Muhammad.
thank you for that. Would you be able to provide me with a hard copy?
I will put that in the order that'll be mailed to you, ma'am.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay.
If I may, I don't know if I'm allowed to address the state directly.
Yeah, you represent yourself, absolutely.
How would I go about getting a copy of my phone or utilizing my phone? Is that something that can be brought to the courtroom? And during the evidentiary, the physical evidence, I might be able to utilize.
Wow. Your phone? You want access to your
My understanding
phone?
is there was imaging done on your phone with software called Cellbrite, and that is part of the digital discovery that has been provided to you. If you are talking about the physical device being re-examined by your own expert, then you would need to find and retain your own expert to do that. Without giving you legal advice or suggesting that he is the person to hire. I know that defense attorneys in this area hire somebody named Richard Connor, Connor, and then that will be between you and the JAC and him, whether or not he wishes to work for you and at what rate, so on and so forth. And then that examination will be done by
Wow.
him.
So she still has to hire experts. And
I have reviewed, I believe, 2 or 3 different thumb drives for given to me at one
I
time.
wonder how she's going to get along with them.
But it also includes like Mr. Lane, and it is nothing of use. It's primarily cookies and history and so forth. So that's why I don't understand who it is, a legal expert that can give me a mirror download of my entire phone in regards to videos and pictures and contacts. I could probably supply a witness list of the mayor if I were to have accessibility to my phone in regards to my contacts. That's why I didn't know if it would be allowed to have my phone visible here in the presence of everyone, including law enforcement, to be able to look at my phone and go through it and to see what I can extract myself while here in the courtroom before trying to figure out how to locate and contact an expert to download all of that to receive.
So all of that information should have been downloaded, and I'm not sure what has been provided to you, but we will be double checking that.
And it's not like that.
Yeah,
So
contact
just
information, all
so
the
you
videos.
know, I'm gonna wrap that up. Just so you know, this is how much Celebrite is used. The Karen Reed trial is not the first trial that I've ever covered. It's definitely not going to be the last. And the Celebrite that is a word that I have heard consistently throughout just about, if not every trial that I've ever covered or followed since I've had this channel. So the fact that right there. They're in Florida. They're not even in Massachusetts. They're on the opposite side of the East Coast. And they're saying they use Celebrite to extract the information from the phone. That's how reliable Celebrite is. And somehow the prosecution in the Karen Reed case is trying to say that the Celebrite is not reliable. Like if that flies, that's very, very dangerous. It's very dangerous. Because it could absolutely contain evidence that could make sure to keep a killer off of the street. And if they can't use Celebrite and they find flaws in it, or people believe because it's on record, some expert going up there and saying that it's flawed, it's a problem. It's a real problem, and it will absolutely set a precedent. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So that does concern me. So yeah, and thanks for hanging out while I talked about the Sarah Boone thing. I hope you guys hang out with me for that. And yeah, there wasn't much to I went over the new motion file today. Basically, I mean, the information that it contains is that the juror B is no longer using an intermediary person to speak for them. They came forward themselves. So this is why this case has not been dismissed already is beyond all of us. So I don't expect Judge Beverly Cannoni again. I don't expect Judge Beverly Cannoni to dismiss this case. I think that the grounds in which this case is being the ground cited as to why they're going to they want the case dismissed now is going to be, it puts Beverly Cannoni in a position to where she has to admit that she made a mistake if she dismisses this. So I don't think that she's capable of that. So I think that this is definitely going to this. I mean, I just don't understand when I think about how this retrial is going to take place. When I think about this, I'm like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? They don't have a case. Oh my God. It's so crazy. And again, a big shout out to everybody who did these standouts, man, yesterday. How effective was that? That was beautiful. Special shout out to Mazza Media and Turtle Boy and Karen Reed showed up to 2 of those locations. Thank you so much, Sherry D. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here, whatever you talk about. Oh, that means the world. Thank you. Appreciate that. What's up, buddy? I know we're going to go in just a second. So yeah, I there's something seriously shady about the fact that they're trying to move forward with this case. All things considered, it's insane. It's insane. So I will definitely be live. I'll be live tomorrow morning because there's a Sandra Birchmore hearing involving Officer Farwell, and we're going to go over that. And then again on Friday, and I'm sure I'll go live somewhere in between that too. But on Friday, for sure, there's going to be the hearing for these motions to dismiss. So I'm very interested to see what Judge Beverly Cannoni does here. And it's going to be good to see Yannetti in action again. I miss it. He's fantastic. Anyways, guys, you guys are absolutely fantastic. Oh, wait. Scott McGinnis, thank you so much. I love the Glare shows. I always have fun on here. Even a bizarre case like this, she is a sociopath and an unaliver, not by choice, just drunk. She absolutely is. But I think she's more than that. I think that she's diabolical. I think that she is just somebody of an absolutely abusive nature. I don't think that she cares at all. And I think that the idea of him dying in that suitcase is something that she absolutely considered and kind of hoped that it would happen. And it did. I believe that she deliberately left him in that suitcase in hopes that he would die. I do believe that. So yeah. But anyways, guys, you guys are fantastic. Thank you, Scott McGinnis. I appreciate you, buddy. I love you guys very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends.